an exclusive interview with former UNT's president, Neal Smatresk. Find out which dog is the most popular in the entire state of Texas.
UNT holds an intimate board game night for all students.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Evening. Thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Avery Collins.
And I'm Grace Escobar. For many college students, one form they are familiar with is FAFSA. You may not be the biggest fan of filling out this form, however, it has been announced that some big changes are coming to the form to make the process just a little bit easier. Our live shot anchor, Matt Winter, has more information on the process. Matt, how can college students benefit from these changes?
Thanks, guys. This Wednesday, the Department of Education announced changes to a form you might be familiar with. The free application for federal student aid form, also known as FAFSA, is for prospective college students to fill out for financial aid. The update offers a faster way for processing student records and involves how the department calculates the amount of aid students can be given. Under the new approach, 7.3 million students can be expected to be eligible for Pell Grants. The department is also going to provide support personnel to lower resource colleges to do needs assessments and help schools with student aid. Now, I'm personally excited for the faster student record processing. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Matthew. That will definitely help me navigate FAFSA this year. Now, on the other hand, let's hope it still gets distributed, even when the threat of a federal government shutdown.
We gotta figure out how we're going to keep funding the government, which is an important problem.
It was an optimistic start to a potentially contentious meeting at the White House Tuesday. The president, along with 4 top leaders of Congress and the vice president, sat down to find solutions on a stalled government spending agreement.
This Friday, unless both sides act quickly, the federal government will enter a partial shutdown.
A partial shutdown that would immediately impact the departments of Veterans Affairs, Transportation, Housing and Urban Development, Agriculture, and Energy.
Mr. Speaker, is there going to be a government shutdown?
No, we're going to work to prevent that.
That was House Speaker Mike Johnson ahead of the meeting, confident, despite refusing to bring a recently passed Senate foreign aid bill to the floor of his chamber. The Senate bill includes aid for Ukraine, a key sticking point for many Republicans.
I think the consequences of inaction every day in Ukraine are dire.
Leaders emerged from the White House after the meeting with advances made on key points.
The meeting on Ukraine was one of the most intense I have ever encountered in my many meetings in the Oval Office. The 4 of us made it so clear how vital this was to the United States.
We had an open, an honest, and a candid, firm discussion about the border. We all agree that we have a broken immigration system.
We're very optimistic. We believe that we can get to agreement on these issues and prevent a government shutdown.
An agreement they have just over 3 days to reach. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Okay, Avery, I completely understand that weather is changeable, but these last 2 days have just been over the top.
Well, Grace, I would totally take our warm Texas days over what these folks in Minnesota and North Dakota are going through. This was the scene today across much of Dakota and Minnesota. The blizzard force winds produced a whiteout, making driving nearly impossible, closing roads and schools. This massive storm came through quickly. Yesterday they were enjoying 50-degree temperatures, and today it is in the teens. Wind gusts across the states were strong, and it was blowing snow that made the situation such a problem.
So Brian, what about all that snow?
As much as I like to wear my winter clothes, the snow is not my favorite. Brian, what about you?
Well, ladies, I have to agree with you. My ideal weather is one with warm winds and sunny skies and a beach. Sadly, I can't promise any of that for us, well, at least in the short term. Now let's get into our first look weather. Today, it is going to be 76 degrees. That's the current temperature right now, and it feels that way too. Winds are going to be coming at you from the south and southwest at 11 miles per hour, and conditions are partly cloudy. As we look at tonight's weather, more or less the same temperature-wise, 76, and is going to feel that way as well. There's an increase of wind speeds by about 2 miles per hour. It's going to be at 13 miles per hour, and the conditions are cloudy. As we take a look at tomorrow, The temperature is going to be taking a chill pill, as temperature is going to be 52 and it's going to feel colder than that at 48, with wind speeds coming at you from the northeast at 9 miles per hour, and conditions are going to be cloudy. A 24-degree drop in 24 hours. That's Texas weather in a nutshell. That's all I have for the first look. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Brian. A major change is coming to UNT. 2 weeks ago, UNT's president, Neal Smatresk, announced he was stepping down from his position after almost 10 years of service. ntTV's news director, Mauricio Ortiz-Segura, sat down with him for an exclusive interview, and tonight we bring you the first part in this series.
When we heard the announcement, we were all kind of surprised. You know, you're kind of a big celebrity around town. I don't know if you knew, but so I guess my first question would be, why? What made you decide to finally step away from UNT after making it your home for 10 years?
Well, so let me first say, I'm not really stepping away. I'm going to go be a professor for a little while. And I really look forward to it, because what got me into this is the idea that what I did in the classroom could change someone's life. Of course, as a president, I got to do that at a much larger scale, but it's not quite as personal. I got here 10 years ago. It was a great reception. I felt so positive about the place. I looked around and I said, you know, UNT is capable of great things. If we can have stable leadership for about 10 years, we're going to accomplish a lot. And in fact, I've been lucky enough to be a president that made it 10 years. So for me, that combination of building a strong team and a stable leadership platform has driven virtually all our success. Having realized the big things, becoming Tier 1, becoming HSI, MSI, doubling and redoubling our research output, joining the American Athletic Conference, building a new Frisco landing program, being the third largest school in Texas, eclipsing Houston now, which just makes me really happy. All of those things collectively are achievements that mean we've hit the mountaintops we were looking for. And now it's time to pass the baton and let fresh vision and new leadership take us to the next heights.
Absolutely. You've definitely accomplished a lot more than many universities can say they've done in 10 years. And it's been absolutely incredible as someone who has to report on the news on the daily, get to report on everything impressive that UNT has managed to accomplish under your leadership. And I suppose a good question would be, who's next? Do you have any idea who might be next to fill the shoes?
I have no idea. That'll be our chancellor and board who make that determination. I hope it's someone who is well-versed in higher ed and is capable of negotiating what might be the most challenging times ever for higher ed. Coming out of COVID, there were learning losses. There's a loss and erosion of confidence in higher education generally. Is it worth the degree? Is higher ed affordable? There's mental health issues. There's learning loss challenges that are going to have a long-lasting impact on American higher education. There's artificial intelligence, there's fiscal challenges, there's a lot. Whoever comes in needs to be prepared to handle those, and I hope can continue supporting the caring nature of our campus and the team that we've built here.
This is the first part of our 4-part series with the UNT president. Join us tomorrow night for more with President Smatresk.
Seeing Neal step down at UNT feels like a piece of UNT's heart is breaking. I feel like one thing that can fill the hole in my heart is love from a dog. I hear our segment anchor, Kayla Bumpus, has some information on humans' relationships with dogs. Kayla, what do you have for us today?
Thanks, Avery. It's very widely agreed that dogs are a person's best friend, but I bet you didn't know that each state has a preference on just which best friend they choose. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, dogs are the most common pet in America, and over 49 million households have at least one canine in their home. With such a large percentage of puppy lovers in the U.S., it is no surprise people have favorites. What's shocking is the vast variety of favorites by state. The Lone Star State's favorite dog really took me by surprise, in all honesty. We'll come back to reveal some of the state's favorite pups. So Avery and Grace, you'd be thinking about which dog you might nominate as the Lone Star favorite. I'll be back later in the newscast with the big reveal.
Thanks, Kayla. We'll have to be thinking about that dog. So, switching gears, after the break, find out how you could run the risk of losing your Netflix account.
And find out where and what time UNT is holding their board game night for all students. Stay with us.
And now we return to Fabric of Passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many closing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
With early voting in full swing, you might be wondering who's on the ballot here in Denton. This past weekend, I interviewed all 3 Denton mayoral candidates for our series called Making the Mayors. These exclusive interviews give you an insight into each of these candidates' stories and why they are running for office. Incumbent Mayor Gerard Hudspeth kicks off our series. My first question for you is, you have been the leader of over 100,000 Denton residents for a little over 4 years. How do you represent the diversity of the Denton community through your work as mayor?
For me, the important part is being out and about and attending events, going to schools, so I go to the elementary schools, high schools, those sort of things, because that's where I get the most feedback, stay the most plugged in. Those that are going to send you emails are going to send emails, right? But then there's those that may be hesitant to reach out or have some input and they don't think it's important enough, or time gets away from them, they're busy, that sort of thing. So being out and about and hearing those comments, concerns directly.
Yeah, and that's really important, especially since, you're leading so many people. You want to be as close to them as possible. Yeah. So you have been reelected more than once, considering what you've done here in Denton as a city council member and as mayor. What keeps the Denton people coming back to you?
I believe, from what I've heard, it's about the authenticity. People will say, I like that you're authentic and you're open, and if I'm frustrated, the former city manager and I had a joke, because I went to him and I said, man, I got to work on my poker face. He's like, you don't have one. But that's, people have complimented me on that, and that's still no excuse, right? You still have to be better, get better, hone your craft, all those things. But just, if something's bothering me, I'll tell you it's bothering me, and we'll work through it. And you got to have thick skin. I mean, it is hard. It's a hard job. Expectations are high. There's a lot of challenges that come with it.
My last question for you, and I'm going to be asking this to all of the candidates: what makes a good Denton mayor?
I think a good Denton mayor is someone that's comfortable in their own skin decisions. As a leader, you have to, almost like an umpire, right? You got to call balls and strikes. So just speaking specifically from experience, from kind of a mayor's perspective, and having done that, I think that's really the thing, is you have to be comfortable making decisions that may be hard, but in the best interest of the majority of the city. So you're talking 151,000 people. What's the majority of that, and how do you represent them well? Understanding if it's a 51 to 49 split, it's really close, but you have to explain that 49%, the sentiment of the majority, and that's why you went forward. But that's a hard conversation to have, because you have a large number of people that may disagree, but the majority did agree, so you move forward that way.
You can see the next 2 mayoral candidate interviews tomorrow and Thursday. Just like Mr. Hudspeth, each of these candidates have unique backgrounds and perspectives to bring to the Denton community. So if you're a Denton County voter, don't miss out on the opportunity to meet the person behind the name on the ballot. Grace, back to you.
Spring break is coming up soon, and many of us are looking to travel this year. If you're planning on going to the happiest place on earth, maybe your wallet won't be as happy. ntTV's Valeria Herrera has more on Disney World's prices.
Thanks, ladies. A trip to the magical world of Disney is about to cost a little bit more than Pixie does. Today, Walt Disney World announced their new prices for the year of 2025, which include a $10 to $5 bump on some tickets. That may not seem like a lot, but look at it this way. A ticket for Disney World that cost $109 today will cost around $120 next year. In addition to the price jump, there will also be a $10 increase of most of the park hopper options, which allow visitors to go from one theme park to another on the same day. It looks like I'm gonna have to pick up a few extra shifts at work if I want to spend the day with Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy. Ladies, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Valeria. After hearing those prices, I'm going to be staying at home and watching TV. But if you're like me and watch Netflix often, you might want to check out how you're paying for your subscription, because you could run the risk of losing your account. Netflix is no longer accepting its users to pay through Apple's Apple Store. The change was first introduced in 2018, but users that joined prior to this change will still be able to pay through their Apple account. Now, those users will be prompted to update their payment method to accommodate the changing policy. If a new payment method isn't added to the user's account before their subscription renews, they run the risk of losing access to their account until a new payment is added. Unfortunately, for those long-standing subscribers, they will lose their grandfathered rate of $9.99, which will leave a lot of users unhappy. This is a nearly $6 increase per month if they want to continue to use Netflix without ads. This change affects Netflix's basic plan in the US and Canada.
Well, I better check that my Netflix isn't getting paid through Apple Pay, because I would hate to get cut off like that. It's stressing me out just thinking about it. Anyways, about any entertaining ideas to de-stress, Samantha?
Well, Avery, I might have found a great way to de-stress here at UNT. I'm right here on the 3rd floor of the Union, right by the Collegiate Recovery Program's board game night. The CRP is a community that provides resources and services for students in recovery from mental health and substance use. Tonight, they invite all UNT students to come and play some games and enjoy some free snacks. They'll be here until 8 p.m. in Union Room 335. Now I have to get back to a very heated game of Monopoly, so I'll see you guys back at the desk.
Thanks, Samantha. I have been loving this warm weather recently.
Me too. I think I've enjoyed it a little too much. I got the worst sunburn this weekend.
Well, I don't think I enjoy it enough to have a sunburn, but let's go ahead and check in with our weather anchor, Brian Clark, to see if you'll be applying sunscreen this weekend. Brian?
Yes, earlier this week, temperatures were in the 90s, and I know last week I went about how the 70s it was feeling real good in the 70s, the temperature, but as we take a look right here to the west, we have an 83 in Graham and an 80 in Bowie, and guess what? The rest of the temperatures, they're going to be getting an Oprah Winfrey treatment. You get a 70, you get a 70, you get a 70, you get a 70. All 70s around 76, 75, so around that area, and of course we have a couple of outliers in the 80s as we take a look across the state. And there you see temperatures right there, 80 in Shreveport, 77 in Houston. And of course, we see all the way out there in El Paso, it is 68, so cooler temperatures. Up there in Amarillo and Abilene, as I step a little closer, Abilene is gonna be 82, Amarillo 70, and Oklahoma City 76. They're gonna be in a red flag warning. What that means is there's gonna be high wind speeds and warm and dry climates, so it's an increased chance of wildfires, so just be careful of that. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast, Wednesday and Thursday, again, the temperatures are going to be taking a chill pill. There's going to be a cold front coming in. 53 and 51 are going to be the highs on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is going to be 75, 79, and 81 degrees respectively with sunny skies. Monday and Tuesday is going to be 75 and 74. So And on Tuesday, March 5th at 7 p.m., we're going to be having our Super Tuesday show. So it's going to be super duper weather on a super day. That's all I have. Now back to you at the desk.
After the break, we'll jump into Denton Eats with Deja Jackson as she shares an exclusive story with UNT's very own market.
And stay with us to find out which dog is the most popular in the entire state of Texas, only here on North Texas Television.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
This time of night, I always get in the mood for a snack, and sometimes I just don't know quite where to get something tasty and quick. But Deja Jackson is in the house tonight, and I think she's got just what I need. Deja?
Yes, Grace, you're in luck because I found a place for you. A location right here on campus called the Market by Clark Bakery, where they have a sandwich place which you might have missed at the Union, and many more snacks and treats to share. Check out what I found for you.
With Clark Bakery and opened last summer in June, located behind Eagle Landing.
The market is really intended to showcase our in-house made products, the ability for UNT Dining to go above and beyond, because not only can we do standard, cookies and treats and stuff, but the market really showcases our French pastries, our in-house made artisan breads, all of the other things on campus that we make that no other college does.
This store was intended to serve as a convenient location for college students to pick up a quick snack or breakfast on the way to class, or even pick up some household products when students need a little something back for the dorm.
Really nice atmosphere. People are friendly, they're not really as much in a rush. It feels like they're not as much in a rush as they would be at Starbucks or Chick-fil-A, for instance. To get away from all the big corporations, to go back to the small businesses, more personal, more home-like.
So go ahead and stop by the Market by Clark Bakery and taste one of UNT's award-winning pastries.
This is located here on campus behind Eagle Landing across from the business building. Open to students 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. on weekdays and 2 to 9 p.m. on Sundays. So hopefully this helps you have a little more options to eat here on campus if you're looking for a quick bite to eat on the way to class. That's all I have for you. Back to you at the desk.
Grace, I don't know about you, but I'm curious about what the news Kayla has on the most popular dog on each state.
Me too, Avery. I'm excited to hear the news, and I think it's probably a bigger dog because, of course, everything is bigger in Texas. My guess is a golden retriever. Kayla, what do you have for us?
Well, despite the misconception that everything is bigger in Texas, our favorite dog certainly is not. The top-ranked canine for Texas is the Chihuahua. Believe it or not, many states agree with this preference. The U.S. New World Report's 360 Reviews team decided to take a dive into dog owners and found that around 4% of dogs in the U.S. are Chihuahuas. Chihuahuas are also the favorite pet in Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Washington, and 16 other states. There was only a small variety of favorite breeds between our 50 states: the Chihuahua, Yorkshire Terrier, French Bulldog, German Shepherd, Golden Doodle, Golden Retriever, and Shih Tzus. The sunny states of California and Florida favored the French Bulldog. Delaware and Alaska preferred the German Shepherds. Vermont has the most Golden Retrievers out of the entire country. And New York and Rhode Island prefer the Shih Tzu. Personally, I have a bias to my favorite type of puppy because I have a very good boy who's a Shih Tzu waiting for me back home. That's all I have for you this week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kayla. Avery, what's your favorite dog breed?
My favorite dog breed is a weenie dog. I have one in my hometown and one living with me right now because I just can't seem to get away from them. Gabby, what is your favorite dog breed?
Honestly, I gotta go with the Golden Retriever. You know, they're playful and really athletic, and I bet they stayed up late, just like me last night, to watch the Dallas Stars game. When we come back, I'll have more on that game, how our Dallas Mavs are doing, and how competitive our UNT sports clubs are right after this.
My bike is gone. Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
The Dallas Mavericks are currently playing Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is a tough matchup since the Cavs beat Dallas 113-110 in their last game, and that was without Mitchell. Hopefully, the Mavs are on high alert after their 7-game win streak was ended Sunday night against the Indiana Pacers. Although Luka Doncic worked his magic with 33 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal, the team lacked defense. Dallas could not stop the Pacers' momentum, most of it coming from back-to-back Tyrese Haliburton and Andrew Nemert threes. The Mavs allowed 14 made threes, 93 total field goals, and a 56% shooting accuracy from the Pacers, resulting in a devastating 133-111 loss. And moving on, the Dallas Stars are still second in the Western Conference with a 35-16-9 record, and they faced the New York Islanders last night in a very bittersweet game. New York's Ryan Pulock scored the only first-period goal, and Matt Duchene answered with a snapshot early in the second period, scoring his 800th career point. After another Islanders goal, Wyatt Johnston helped the Stars' top prospect Logan Stankoven score his first NHL goal on his 21st birthday. But unfortunately, there wasn't much celebrating after a quiet third period and a game-winning snapshot goal from Bo Horvat, ending in a Stars loss 3-2. And finally, many UNT sports clubs are gearing up for competitions, and women's club volleyball is preparing for what may be their best season yet. They're currently in the top 24 of all university volleyball clubs, and they're looking to top last year's top 6 ranking. I spoke with a few members about their tournament progress and what the club means to them outside of competitions. Take a look.
Women's club volleyball is gearing up for what could be their best competition run yet. Last year, the club ranked number 7 in the country and won UNT's Club of the Year award. And club president Ali Stapp is excited to see what they can do this time around.
We're coming off of a really good season, and right now we are ranked top 24 going into this tournament this weekend, so that's also really exciting for us. It's big goals for the club moving forward.
There are also members like Jordan Shelby, the club's liberal and defensive specialist, who graduate soon and want to enjoy their last semester with the team.
So I just want the club to do as well as possible. It's my last semester. I graduate in May, and so I don't really have any goals for myself. I just want to go and finish my last semester, my last season, having a lot of fun with my teammates.
The club provides a good balance of work and fun for many players like McKaylee Mack, a senior and the club's fundraising chairman.
It honestly has helped me keep a better schedule of my time. Me personally, I like having a lot of things on my plate, and volleyball was just another thing to keep me structured.
Although tryouts have closed for this semester, students can show up to competitions and fill the stands with Mean Green.
We release our tournament dates on our Instagram, so like people can follow us through our social media or coming in person to watch.
For ntTV News, I'm Gabby Pippins.
Kept their top 24 ranking after Saturday's tournament, and they're gearing up for one more before Nationals, where they'll face over 300 clubs in Kansas City. For more information and to support the club at their competitions, be sure to follow their Instagram at UNT_WCVB in all lowercase. That's all I've got for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gabby. Well, I'm not a big volleyball fan, but I am a big dog fan. I just love all of our furry friends.
Yes, I could own 10 weenie dogs if I wanted to. If you could own a dog, which kind of dog would you get?
I mentioned it earlier, but I love golden retrievers. I used to have one, and they are just my favorite dog breed.
Aw, that's so cute. Well, that concludes our newscast for tonight. Thank you so much for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow at noon and tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. here on North Texas Television.